Ian from RTO here. Welcome to Retro Ranking, where sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get. And today you're going to get my top 10 UK TV cop show themes. Now, I've always liked the cop shows, and they've always had some great music. So I've picked 10 of some of my favourite themes, and these are some of my favourite cop shows. And when I mean cop shows, it could be private detectives and that sort of thing. So here we go. So coming in at number 10 is the theme tune to Foyle's War. Now this ran from 2002 to 2015. Starred Michael Kitchen as Christopher Foyle. The theme is actually written by Jim Parker, and this is not the he's wrote others, The House of Elliot, The Wonderful House of Cards, and Mole Flanders. What I like about this, now obviously Foyle's War is set, he played a detective in the Second World War in Hastings. It was a great series, and when the war finished he became a member of MI5, and I love the music because it's just well suited for when it was set. That lovely saxophone and the double bass. One of my favourite series, and I have got this on DVD. I've got every episode. I am sad, yes, but I do love that programme. Okay, coming in number 9 is one of my favourite mystery writers. And this person, Agatha Christie, of course, wrote about so many people, Miss Marple. But the theme that I love is to Poirot. Now this ran from 1989 to 2013, and the ITV series this was, and to me, and he is the quintessential Poirot. Very similar to how Agatha wrote him. David Suchet, everything about it. He played Poirot wonderful, and they did all the Poirot stories. Absolutely brilliant. This is written by Christopher Gunning. Again, it's another track because of the time it's set. It's got saxophone in it, and of course, this is probably the greatest detective next to Sherlock Holmes. I do love the stories. I love Agatha Christie's plots. Very, she wrote, Tuppence and whatever, I can't remember. Miss Marple, her stories as well. They're all very similar, and I just love this music. Okay then, coming in at number 8 is originally stories written about an inspector in Oxford, written by Colin Dexter, who always made a guest appearance in the series. And of course it's the theme tune to Morse. Now Morse itself ran from 1987 to 2000, but there were spin-offs, of course. We'll talk about them in a minute. Now the music to this is done by a chap called Barrington Philong. Now he composed all the music through the story of Morse. So we started off with Morse, and this Morse code, and it's spelling out his name, Endeavour. Always assisted by Detective Sergeant Lewis, played by Kevin Whatley, of course. When Morse finished, Lewis came onto the screens in 2016 and ran till 2015. Really good series again with Lewis, and then after that they went back and we had Sean Evans playing a very young Morse, and that finished this year, and that started in 2012. I love these stories. I've got all of them. Yeah, again, I've got Morse, I've got Lewis, and I've got Endeavour. Wonderful pieces of music written by Barrington Philong. The theme to Lewis's is nice. so it's more gentle sort of thing. And then they went back to the sort of the Morse for Morse. But Barrington, some of the songs, there's an album that's of Barrington's music for the series. It's fantastic, and I just love that song. Wonderful piece of music. Some nice guitar in there as well, and strings. Wonderful little thing. Okay then, coming in at number 7. Now this is another theme written by Jim Parker, who wrote Foyle, and it's Midsummer Murders. Now this has been running since 1997, and it had the theremin. It sort of brought the theremin to the front of a musical instrument. It's a wonderful piece of music. It's that shimmery sort of sound, and it set in this place called Midsummer that I wouldn't want to go and live in because everyone gets murdered. It's been John Nettle started off as Tom Barnaby, and then when he finished, in called Neil Dudgeon, who played his cousin John. They introduced Neil Dudgeon's character, when they went off to Brighton. Very distinctive piece of music. Everyone knows the theme to this. Great series. I haven't got all these, but luckily they are on BritBox. So I can sit and watch Midsummer's Murders to my heart's content. Okay then, coming in at number 6, we go back to the 60s. Now I only watched this on reruns, of course, because I wasn't even born when this started, and it's a themed from the Avengers, da 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 da, written by Laurie Johnson, and it won't be the first time that we mention his name in this little video. The Avengers, the original Avengers, ran from 1961 to 1969 and starred Patrick Macnee as John Steed. And we all remember it though for Emma Peel, played by Diana Rigg, and then Kathy Gale, who was played by Honor Blackman. Then in 76 to 77 they had the new Avengers. Patrick Macnee was back, but we had Joanna Lumley playing Purdy, and Gareth Hunt played Gambit. It's just one of them great 60s suave thing, the theme from the Avengers. It's got that dynamite, this espionage. Laurie Johnson wrote some killer tunes for TV themes, and this is one of the best. I love watching this. Again, this is another one that's on BritBox now. It's nice to watch some of these old classics, because some of these I'd never seen before, and I really do love watching the Avengers. Now coming in at number 5. And now I remember this as a kid. It was not when it originally came up, but it was one of the reruns, and it's Randall and Hopkirk Deceased. Now this is written by Edwin Astley. And they made one series, and it ran from September 69 to March 1970, and it starred Mike Pratt as Jeff Randall, the wonderful Kenneth Coates as Marty Hopkirk the Ghost, and Annette Andre as Jeannie. This was so funny. The music is great. Everything 70s about it. Wonderful series. He also wrote, won't be the first time, he wrote The Baron and The Danger Man as well, did Edwin Astley. Now they did a rehash of Randall and Hopkirk in 2000 with Vic Reeves and Bob Mortar and Amelia Fox. It just didn't have the same as the original. I think Kenneth Coates played Marty wonderfully, and I just love the music. Okay, coming in at number 4. Now, this was a great series. It was called Between the Lines, and it's about the CIB. Ran from 1992 to 1994. Starred Neil Pearson as Detective Super Tony Clark, Tom Gregson as D.I. Harry Naylor, and Siobhan Redmond as DS Mo Connell. Now this is written by Howard Lyons, who was in Dire Straits, and Colin Towns, who was in Gillen. Now Colin Towns also wrote the music to DL and Pasco. Great track. Very dramatic. I mean, the CIB, not the Police Force's favourite department, looking into their own. The strings in this is brilliant. It's just dramatic. I always saw this series, when you think of now, is the front runner to The Line of Duty, which is another brilliant series, and I love these two series. Between the Lines is not about. I haven't seen it on DVD. I'm looking for it because it was a great series. Okay, coming in at number 3. Well, this is one of them series that the theme tune is actually sung by someone that starred in it. I wonder who that was. So the series is New Tricks, which ran from 2003 to 2015. The actual song was written by Mike Moran, who had played in the Iain Gillan band, and it's sung, of course, by Dennis Waterman, who also sang Minder. Now, if you should know the plot, it's about UCOS ex-detectives solving cold cases. First starred Amanda Redmond as Detective Superintendent Pullman, Alan Armstrong playing Brian Lane, the wonderful James Bolan played Jack Halford, Jerry Standing played by the wonderful Dennis Waterman. And the beauty of this series, when people left, they brought in some great people. Dennis Lawson come in and played Steve McAndrew. Nicholas Lyndhurst come in and played Dan Griffin. In the when Amanda Holman left, they brought in Tasmin Alwaite that played Chief Inspector Miller. Larry Lamcadian played Ted Case. Absolutely brilliant series, a brilliant theme tune. It's just great stuff. Okay, coming in at number 2 is one of the first cop shows I really got into. Ran from 75 to 78, and it features 2 people that we've already mentioned. One being John Thor, and the other being Dennis Waterman. So it's going to be the Sweeney. I love this tune. Harry South wrote this one. Of course, John Thor played Jack Regan. Dennis Waterman played George Carter, and their boss was played by Garfield Morgan, who played Frank Haskins. Another series with Dennis, but he didn't sing the theme tune to this. I love this. It's just got a great beat to it, and I always liked at the end of the show when they played the slower version with the saxophones. So I like the whole of I like the beginning bit and the end bit. Once again, when they they remastered this, and yes, I've got it, and the movies, and the pilot. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I remember used to watch this. It was on a Monday night on ITV. Absolutely brilliant. Didn't see it all the time because of school, but when the school holidays on, well, I was able to stay up and watch it. Yeah. But my number 1 song, and this is probably one of my favourite British cop shows. Another tune written by Laurie Johnson, and the series is The Professionals, that ran from 77 to 1983. All about this organisation called CI5, run by George Cowley, played by Gordon Jackson. It was a cop show where they were above the cops and they could do what they write. Of course, it had Bodie, played by Lewis Collins, and Doyle, played by Martin Shaw. Love the song. The opening credits always bring the series are a bit far-fetched, bit of fantasy, but it was on a Saturday night and we was able to sit up and watch it. Again, it's just a Gordon Jackson was brilliant in this as George Cowley. He took them all on. He didn't care who they were. Again, this came out not a couple of years ago, remastered, re-cleaned up, wonderful series, and yeah, I've got it. It's a little bit cringeworthy in places. There's some one or two episodes that wouldn't get aired today, but I love this theme tune. Absolutely brilliant. So there we go. There's my top 10 favourite UK cop shows. Okay, we have got some honourable mentions. So the first one is probably one of the long running ones. Remember this as a kid. Started in 1962 and finished in 1978. So I caught the last of it, and it's Zed Cars. Now there was one actor that went through the whole of it. James Ellis. He played Burt Lynch, who went from PC, DC up to Inspector. Also had some great characters on this. In the early days, you had Stratford Johns played Charlie Barlow, Frank Weezer, John Watt, Brian Blessed played William Fancy Smith, and Joss Ackland played D.I. Todd. This is written by a guy called Fritz Spiegel and his then wife Bridget Fry, from a traditional Liverpool folk song called Johnny Todd. Now, Zed Cars was based around Liverpool, but the one that everyone hears, and it got to number in 1962, this got in the charts, reaching number 8, and that's Johnny Keaton's version. I love this. It's got a nice drum beat, and it's got a very, what would I say, unique sound to it, and it's one of them, when you hear it you go, oh, that's Zed Cars. Great track, great bit of music. I remember watching it with my dad used to watch it all the time. Okay, my next one is another one written by Edwin Astley, and it's The Saint. Look, ran from 1962 to 1965, starring Roger Moore as Simon Templar. Love that. You can see why you got James Bond. Because Simon Templar is a bit of a James Bond sort of character. And then in 1978 they had the Return to the Saint. Very similar sort of music, and it was Simon Templar then was played by Iain Ogilvy, another fine actor. I remember I watched this. It's on telly. It's on ITV. I think I've seen it on their new thing. It's on there, and the Return of the Saint. I loved it all. I loved the music, and it's a great piece of music from Edwin Astley. And my last one, this was I don't remember this, but I remember seeing it on telly, and it gets repeated. It doesn't get repeated so much now, but a few years it did. And that's Jason King, played by the wonderful Peter Weingard. Now, Jason King was actually a character in another cop show called Department S. He was sort of a PI talk thing. Absolutely brilliant. This again written by Laurie Johnson, and it's got that 60s groovy swing to it. Absolutely brilliant. And I think Jason King is sort of what Austin Powers is loosely based on, because you've got the character of Austin Powers is very much like Jason King, the groovy sort of get-ups. I mean, Jason King had always got his shirt done down to here, hairy chest, medallions. I just love the music. It just is so 60s and early 60s, 70s sort of thing. Absolutely great little track. So there we go. There's a few of my favourite TV cop shows from the UK. Coming up in probably next month, we'll look. I'm going to do some of my favourite US crime show type things. Okay, that's all for today. The sun has just come out. It's bitterly cold, but I think it's going to be one of them nice, crisp, fresh winter days. Okay, what have we got for you tomorrow? Well, we've got a viewer's request, and we've had to put this into two because it's a big load of albums, and we're going to look at the Beach Boys, and tomorrow I'm going to do from 29 to 15. So that's for tomorrow. So have a great day, everyone, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now.